The Chicago Bears just got reason to be hyped for this offseason. Let's talk about it. My name is Paul. Together with my buddies, we are the NFC North Guys. Hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. We're trying to build an awesome community here of fans of any of the 4 NFC North teams. Place where we can talk some smack, have some healthy debate, and just have a good time supporting the best division in football. So be a part of that. Every new person that joins the community just gets bigger and better. So don't miss out. Hit the subscribe button. All right, anyways, I know a lot of us were super hyped for the offseason team. And I don't think any of us really expected the Bears to get this good this fast under Ben Johnson, but they are there. I think we're all hoping Caleb takes the leap next season. But I think the one question that's been on everybody's mind is, are the Bears going to be willing to spend and go all in on winning a Super Bowl this year and officially open up that Super Bowl window? Well, at the Super Bowl, there have been some interviews, and one of them got me super hyped. So the CHGO Bears guys were interviewing Jarrett Payton about George McCaskey, and I mean, he had a ton of wonderful things to say about George McCaskey. But then he was asked, like, has he changed at all? Because it seems like things are, like, he's kind of operating a little bit differently in recent years. And that's where I love the answer from Jarrett Payton. He's like, George, great guy. He's always wanted to win. Like, that hasn't changed. He's always wanted that. He just wants to win. But what he said is, but he's now realizing what that takes. And he said, and like, he knows you have to have the right people in place to be able to do that. And to get the right people in place, you have to be willing to spend money. And so, like, George McCaskey now is starting to realize more and more, like, if he wants to hoist a Super Bowl trophy and put on a Super Bowl ring, money has to be spent to do that. And Jarrett Payton is super close to him. He knows him better than almost anybody. He even mentioned in the interview he's about to sit down with him later this week and get talking about the future. So just hearing that ownership is ready to spend money is huge. I mean, and there's also been some news recently that kind of gives Bears fans reason to think that they're going to spend the money and that they have a very clear path towards being able to spend the money. So the recent news that came out about the NFL salary cap is big time. The salary cap is going up to over $300 million next season. And that's big because the Bears obviously have a few people they would love to add. I know there's a lot of talk about trading for Max Crosby, or signing Trey Hendrickson, or even Khalil Mack is another one. And let me pull up the Bears salary cap situation right now. They have a lot of, like, right now they don't have any salary cap space, even with the new amount that's been given. But they have a very clear path to opening up that money. And first, I need you guys here, hit me up in the comments. There's been all sorts of rumors about what that might look like in the offseason. There's been talk of, do you trade DJ Moore? I even heard Cole Kmet kind of talked recently about him potentially being a trade candidate. There's been talks of, do you cut Tremaine Edmonds? Like, he's obviously a very good linebacker, but he's probably not a $17 million caliber linebacker at this point in his career, which is what he's getting paid. There's a lot of talk about, really, those 3 guys I think are the ones who get talked about the most. Maybe even there's been some talk about, do you save a little money on DeAndre Swift and try to draft a new quick running back to pair with Kyle Monangai next year? Hit me up in the comments. Let me know, who do you want to be cut or traded, or do you want to try to find a way to keep every one of these guys? Because there is a path there too. So if you look over to this far right column that says dead money and cap savings, it kind of shows you, like, Tremaine Edmonds, for example. If you cut him pre-June 1st, you're going to have $2 million in dead cap, but you're going to save $15 million. Same thing with DeAndre Swift. If you cut him June 1st, you'll only have $1 million in dead cap, but you'll save $7 million. If I switch this to what could the Bears do by restructuring, that's where you see something really interesting. So you don't want to do too much restructuring and get yourself into like the Ryan Pace salary cap purgatory. But there are a few quick changes that could open up a good amount of salary cap space. Restructuring DJ Moore would save almost $17 million. Montez Sweat would save almost $10 million. Jalen Johnson, Joe Thuney, Deo Odeyingbo, like all these guys, Jonah Jackson, Grady Jarrett could save, like you could very easily restructure those contracts and have $50 million in this offseason, which would be more than enough to add like a big-time edge rusher and even address some other positions on defense. And they might really need that money, especially considering, I don't know who saw Tom Brady's interview yesterday. He named Nahshon Wright his LFG, like, I forget the term for it, but like best player on a small like best bang for your buck type player. I think Nahshon Wright is going to command a pretty big contract this offseason, and it's a debate whether he's worth it. Hit me up in the comments if you think if you would like to see the Bears pony up big money to keep him, or if you think like, you know, he had a lot of turnovers, but he did get beat quite a bit too, might not be worth the money. Let me know in the comments. But the big thing, I think the big thing I want, and there's already been some big rumors about this, is that Dennis Allen is already pushing for Trey Hendrickson inside Hallis Hall, and I think he would be huge for the Bears. Like the big thing, like I think Crosby's a better player right now, but the big difference is you're probably giving up at least a first for Crosby. Maybe, I mean, Micah Parsons got 2 firsts and a player they had to give up. I think Crosby wouldn't get quite that much, but you potentially could see 2 firsts or a first and a third plus. Maybe you throw in a DJ Moore there or a Cole Kmet. I guess the Raiders probably don't need a third tight end. But who knows? It's the Raiders. They do wild things. But Trey Hendrickson you can get without trading up any of your precious draft capital. So that's what I want. I want the Bears to go all in, get Trey Hendrickson, use this draft to bolster up the defense, and maybe go for an offensive tackle in free agency as well. But I think you have to attack this Super Bowl window right now while Caleb is on his rookie deal. Like, we got 3 years left before he's going to command a $50 million plus contract. Who knows what quarterbacks are going to be getting paid in 3 years. But you have to capitalize right now. So I love hearing Jarrett Payton talk about how George McCaskey, like, yes, he wants to win. He's always wanted to win. But he's finally accepted the fact that, like, you know what? If I want to win, I'm going to need to pony up. I'm going to need to pay some big bucks. And we are going to have to get this done. And there's no better time than right now. You got the great coach. You got the great quarterback. You got the great quarterback on a rookie deal. I mean, so much other young talent with Luther Burden and Colston Loveland. You have to go all in right now. Get a Trey Hendrickson. Boost this defense in other areas. And go win that Super Bowl next year. But you guys comment below. Give me your thoughts on any of that. Like I said, tell me, who do you want to see the Bears let go to kind of clear up some space, or do you want to have them keep everybody and just restructure? Hit me up in the comments. And then don't forget, please just like and subscribe on the way out.